I was a general contractor and I was running jobs, and it was a family business. And we were just really struggling. My husband and I were really struggling. Our biggest point of contention was the leadership role. And we just did not agree on the way that the company should be run. The tension within the family was just so stressful all the time. And we had gotten into a really big fight. And my son and I were scheduled to come to this meeting for Movement Day in Greater Dallas. And you know, it's probably the worst fight I've ever been in with my husband in my entire life. And we just made a decision to go ahead and go to the meeting anyway, to just get out of the house and clear the air. And so when we got to the meeting is when we actually met Diane, and she spoke about her mentor program. And it was a business mentor program, and I thought to myself, my goodness, I really could use some mentoring in business. And little did I know that they were going to pair me with a pastor who happened to be a crisis counselor. And where I went looking for a solution to my business, I found a solution to my marriage problems. And the pastor, who was my mentor at the time, simply stated that I was in an abusive relationship, and I wasn't even aware. There was a lot of pride that was involved, and I realized I was bringing about 50% of the problem to the relationship, and that I needed to change myself, and that I wasn't going to change my husband. It just took steps. It just took steps after that, but the mentor that I had for 6 weeks, every week she would call me. Every week she would hold me accountable. She set me on the path. And then I started getting counseling and started figuring out that I was completely in control of the situation, that I could make all the changes, that everything was going to be okay. It was going to be a process, but it was a really good start. The one thing that I learned the most from my mentor was that we were going to be following God's plan for my life. And that was when I really saw differences in my life and started applying what I saw in Scripture to my life, even though I'd been at church for a long time. Just everything that I went in prayer in the morning and was told, I would do in the afternoon. I signed over my company to him. I walked away after 6 years of doing this and gave it all to him. You can't fight if there's no fuel. But in the beginning, it was very difficult to let go of the things that I thought I earned and deserved. Since then, it's gotten easier. Each piece has gotten easier and easier to let go of. I've had to learn not to be antagonistic in the way that I speak. I've learned to be patient, to be kind, to be generous to somebody that I wanted to divorce. But when I wanted to, I sat down and prayed about it, and God said no. And I thought, boy, I finally got up the courage to leave, and now you say no? And just this voice in my head was just, it said, you know, a good leader can fix this. And I thought to myself, wow, there's a challenge I can take. I will tell you right now that being a woman in a male-dominated industry of construction, I have been the only woman on job sites for 6 years. And I have fought tooth and nail for every project that I got and everything that I did. And there were no role models out there for me. I didn't know how to dress, I didn't know how to talk, went back and forth between, you know, just different styles of things, trying different things. And one of the meetings that Forward offered was in a member's house, I believe, and I actually snuck in. I don't think I was actually invited, but I saw it on their Facebook page, and I snuck into the meeting and I sat in the back, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess my name tag might have been misplaced. And they're like, oh, okay, they just went along with it. And there was a panel of CEOs, and I was just so desperate to go see what CEOs looked like. And I just looked over and I thought, you know, I can do that. I can do that. I can figure out how to do that. And we actually ended up developing our own nonprofit program on a mentor basis. Without seeing the female leaders of Forward, I would have never, ever had the ability to go into these meetings that I go into now. I meet with billion-dollar companies, and I sit in front of their board of directors. I'm still sitting there thinking to myself, I've seen it, I know what it looks like, I can do this. If I were sitting here with Diane, I would really want just to let her know, thank you for your obedience. I don't know what you had to walk away from to do this,